Good morning. This is Lolly, and I'm really excited today to bring to you a new card series called the Peeky Cards that I've designed. And what it is, it's a base layer and a top layer. The top layer has these cut-aparts so that you can put in there something decorative underneath there and they would peek through. So let me show you an example that I've created. Now I am using this, I think it's Scotch brand mounting foam tape to prop up my top layers, but you can use something thicker or even 2 layers of the foam tape. But with 1 layer of the foam tape, it's really nice because it's still flat enough to ship it or mail it. But you can still see the dimension in here. So this is one here. It's my coffee cup design. So the top layer, let me show you on this here. Hold on. It's like this. You've got a top layer and this bottom layer, which you can barely see. There's faint lines on here. This is your placement guide. I'll refer to that later. So these are what comes in the file, plus also a die cut that's the size of the placement guide so that you can use different colors of die cuts to put under there and show through like that. Okay, so that's what I'm referring to. The first layer is this hole, and the bottom layer has the placement guides, which is slightly larger than the hole, so you can see where to do your artwork. Okay, without that, it's just kind of a guess as to where to put your design, especially if you just want to color that. So this is my coffee one, and I've used the paper collection, Coffee Love, I think it's called, and just did some fussy cutting here, and this is a die cut for the spoon. And another thing is, once you do this, when you die cut, you end up with this top layer, you end up with this shape right here that you can also use on the inside of the card. So hang on to that, because that could be pretty valuable. This one is my bubbles card, and it's got 3, 4, 5 holes on it, circles. And I've also used different colors of cardstock underneath that. And this one has some gold embossed vellum, and this one has some gold ribbons in it as well. But again, there's some of the bubbles right there on the inside that punched out right here. See if I can get some of the angle there. And this one is my hearts collection. It's got 3 hearts turning toward the right, like they're growing off the card. And I have gold cardstock under there. I could have used a different color for each heart, but I decided to go with all gold. And then I used the gold hearts that punched out of this top layer right there. So these are 4 of the designs plus the mermaid one that I showed you in the beginning. And so that's 4, and I believe I have 5 more designs, a total of 9 in my shop right now, and I'll give you the link to them as we go. So what are some other options you can do besides putting cardstock under here? You can color it with markers, colored pencils, watercolor, because once you've got that guide right here, the placement guide, you can see exactly where to put your artwork. We're going to use washi today on this one as a demo. So washi is another option. You can turn it into a shaker card, because with these guides, you know where to put your foam tape to mark off that section to put your shaker supplies on. You can also put acetate on there, vellum on there, distress inks, distress oxides. You can stamp over it. You could use a texture stamp to cover up the tail. You can emboss on it. So those are really helpful to show you where to place your artwork. Okay, let's put this aside and show you how to assemble a simple one of these. Let me remove this, because when I'm working with a white card, you can't see what I'm doing. So what I recommend is to go ahead and do all your flat embellishments on this top layer. For instance, with this, I glued all my papers on here, and then this was done at the end, okay, like flowers and beads. Put those on later, but do all the flat embellishments now. Makes it easier when you adhere this to have that on there. I decided for this one, I want to do some glitter, and I also cut this out. It's a seashell shape that I designed for my cameo. And I'm going to, well, first I need to get my glitter out. I am going to use this Tombow Mono Aqua to glitter just the outer edge of this to give it some shape. And this is just going to be an embellishment, but I thought while I am glittering the outside, glittering the top of the top layer, I should go ahead and get this in there too. Okay. My little glitter tub. This is microfine glitter. I just want to make sure when I flip that lid off, I don't dump the entire thing. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. Now I'm going to work on this one, and I'm just going to do a lot of swirls on here because I think it would look more like the waves of the sea almost. Just swirls here and there. So we get the idea of motion. Find a place to hold and start dumping glitter. And then while this is setting aside to dry, I just want to give you some updates on the use of this file, these files. Okay, now the file collection, if you have the Silhouette Design Studio, that's what these were designed in. So they will work perfectly for that. If you have any other cutting machine besides a Cameo, the SVG will do this and the die cuts that go with it, whereas this. Okay, but the SVG has a hard time recognizing this by putting the guidelines exactly where they need to be on there. It's a perfect placement. So you would need to use the PNG. Okay, this is a print and cut, and even in Cameo it's a print and cut. But in for the Cricut and Brother Scan and Cut, you need to use the PNG version of this instead of an SVG. So I did not give you an SVG of this, just the PNG to use that. Okay, so anyway, use that as a print and cut, and that way you can print out the border exactly where you need. And when you buy the file, when you purchase the file, there is a notation there telling you exactly what size to size this as for the base layer. Okay, so let's just let this dry for a little while, because if I start messing with it, I know I will smear it. Now while I'm waiting for that to dry, I decided that what I want to do, the tail is going to have this, which is this washi tape from Little B that I got in my design team kit from Auntie Vera's Scrap and Craft. It's in the September kit, available while supplies last. And also you could probably buy it separately from her. But that's going to be the tail, but I want to do something extra with this, the little shell bra. So I'm going to add a little color. I'm going to deepen that a little bit with this marker, and then I'm going to glitter it. Now like I said, the nice thing about having these guides there is you know exactly where to do your work. So let's give it some glitter. There we go. Now we're going to set that to dry. In the meantime, I also gathered some sequins that I want to use. And I found this in my stash. It's got some green seashells. I'm not sure if I can use that in my design or not, but we will see. Okay, these are dried now, and so I want to take a look at that. So you can see the sparkle on that. It's really pretty. Now, I notice this is pretty flexible, and it does work better to have a nice firm cardstock for your top. Sometimes I will double layer if it's too thin, especially if you're using just scrapbook paper and not scrapbook cardstock. So you'll want to make sure this is nice and firm. Otherwise, it tends to warp as you're putting it on here. Okay, and there's the little mermaid bra, and you can see if I lay them on there, the sparkle under that. So I want to use this washi that I got, and I'm trying to figure out which way to turn the scales. I need to go this way. I want to put this right down the center of the mermaid tail. And Little B always has this little cutting thing right there, but I want to make sure I don't go too far, because it will be in the way of, it'll come off the bottom there. And then I have this little spot here on both sides that needs to be covered. I'm going to take more than I need because I need to line it up once I get it there. Make sure as I put this over there and center it, that washi's not sticking out. Okay, it's going to line up just perfectly. I really like that washi tape. Isn't that perfect? So the next stage is to go ahead and put this tape on here, and that's why I said not to put your bulky embellishments. I started saying embarrassments. Your bulky embellishments over there. It makes it so hard to put the tape on. And, okay. Again, if you want to use a thicker sticky tape or like 3D dots, that works too. And I just need to make sure that I'm just eyeballing this here. And I'm cutting this skinnier to go into the areas that I need it to, like right here. I want to get this off of there, all of my tapes. Another thing about using this is it's been in a roll all this time, so I usually try to kind of straighten it out a little bit and apply it straight, because otherwise it'll make this all curved when I lay it on there. I usually get right over the center of the top here and lay it down carefully, but I don't want to stick my head in the way of the camera. There you go. So that's it. Isn't that fun? And then you can then border it, and I like to use maybe an ATG. It's an advanced tape glider gun. And these are sized just perfectly to go on an A2 card, which is 5.5 by 4.25. Okay. And this paper is also from the September design team kit for Antivirus Scrap and Craft. Alrighty. The other thing I did was I want to use the shell that I showed you, but I want to put a little lace behind it. So I took some thread and I just wove it in and out so I could pucker it how I wanted and gather it like that. Now I want to use I didn't tie it off, so I'm going to secure it. Putting this at an angle. I'm going to hold that down for a minute. Get some really sharp scissors here. I love these scissors. I just got them from Amazon. And they are titanium, and they are super sharp. Really happy with it. I'm just holding this down to make sure it stays. Fabri-Tac dries pretty quickly. So next I want to get this on there, but I think I want to poof that up a little bit. And let's see, I can use some of this. I don't want to use my new good scissors and have them get sticky. So I'm going to put this on the back here. And another layer to really make this stick up. I'm going to give it a little extra glue here. Looking at this, I'm not sure if I'm going to use these sequins here or not. I think they're a little too bright for what I want. Let me think. I might. And then I have these sequins too, and I want to stick them down here. So let's get some tweezers so we can play around here. Let's put these in there. I decided I want to put some sequins on this nylon netting. Okay, I'm really happy with that. I decided I didn't like this. Like I said, the color is just a little too bright. I loved all of the aqua colors of these sequins and what they're doing up here in this little nylon netting. And I just decided to add these little sequins in the center of my little glitter swirls there. But anyway, so that's the last card here. I hope that was inspiring to you, and I will give you several links down below on supplies and the files on how to make these Peeky cards yourself. So I anticipate making more Peekies, but for now, like I said, I only have about 9 designs available in my shop. Thank you for watching. I've been really looking forward to making these projects for quite a while, and especially the mermaid. And this is the one that started the whole thing for me, was this mermaid. I saw this washi tape when I got it in my kit, and I just knew that I had to make my own mermaid tail out of that. So again, it's my design, and thank you, and hope you appreciate that. Thank you so much for the thumbs up and for subscribing to my channel.